champ since the Dubs did it in 2017 and 2018. Tim McMahon joining us from there at OKC. And, of course, the big storyline here as well is Kevin Durant, who has been the model of consistency as of late. He's gone 12 straight seasons, averaging 25 points a game on 50% shooting. That is the longest streak in NBA history. The only other player to do so in 10 straight, your boy Shaq from 1994 to 2003. So let's go back to OKC. Also there in the same arena is our NBA reporter Michael C. Wright. We know that all eyes are on KD's debut tonight. What are you hearing about Houston's plans with this lineup?
Well, it's going to be a gigantic lineup, El. You're talking about the shortest guy in that lineup being 6'7" and point guard Ben Thompson. Kevin Durant, he will be playing the two guard. Then you've got Jabari Smith Jr., you've got Alperen Sengun, and Steven Adams. So that is a humongous lineup. But, El, let me tell you, you can't really set this thing in stone because what the Rockets want to do is sort of experiment and figure out what works, what doesn't work, just things that they can use later on in the season. One thing that they did kind of stumble upon with Fred VanVleet's season-ending injury was the fact that they can facilitate offense from a bunch of different people. You know, whether that's Kevin Durant, whether that's Sengun, whether that is Reed Shepherd, Amen Thompson, lots of facilitators. And it's sort of a thing that they just stumbled on, and they feel like that is going to help them when they play with all these different lineups.
Yeah, sharing the offensive wealth, although we don't love that, Michael C. Wright. We want someone to go crazy. So keep in mind that the most points a Houston player has had in the season opener is 44 by James Harden in 2020. We will see if KD can outdo him tonight. Michael C. Wright joining us there on the scene in OKC. You know, it's a big night in the NBA when our friend Michael Wilbon is blessing the program. And Wilbon, we know KD just turned 37 last month. Give me real expectations for him and this Rockets team this season.
Ooh. Well, they got big expectations, and they've been undermined a little bit, El, by not having Fred VanVleet. Mm-hmm. And people may look at this and say, oh, wait a minute, they have the following people, and they have just a growing, exploding Amen Thompson, among others. But VanVleet was critical to what Houston did last year. And without that shooting and that veteran presence, oh, wait, he already has a championship ring, I think Houston may wind up being a team we're watching at some point in a few weeks, because he's not coming back anytime soon, VanVleet, to make a deal. What do you do to augment that roster to help just sort of direct it, keep it going in that direction, and keep the momentum you don't want to lose from VanVleet going? But Houston's still going to be in there challenging. That's a really talented roster. I mentioned Amen Thompson. Kevin Durant, of course, is the closer in everybody's mind, it seems, the kind of player Houston did not have last season. Mm-hmm. And so Durant leaves a place that they couldn't possibly win, Phoenix, and goes to a place where you've got a roster. I mean, remember, when you've got Sengun and Steven Adams, you've got size, you've got shooting, you've got depth, and now you bring the experience of Durant. So the expectations are high.
Yeah.
Does it mean I expect them to overtake OKC and maybe another team? Not so fast.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, he talked about that, and you talked about the roster needing a bit of a boost. He claims, or at least has intimated, that's why he took a pay cut and less money so that they would have some flexibility to improve the roster. But you do mention OKC, and certainly they've got a big, giant target on their back because they won. Which team do you think is the biggest threat to the Thunder in the West?
Well, I'm not alone in this. It seems to be a trendy pick now in the West, and that's the Denver Nuggets. Mm-hmm. And there's no more dependent on like three players. And to go out and to now have Cam Johnson, to have Tim Hardaway Jr., to have Bruce Brown back, to have Valanciunas there, you've got a roster, a full roster, not just a player who may be in Jokic, the best player in the world, not just that, but a roster, a fully developed roster around him with experience and talent and maybe improved shooting. And I look at Denver now as a team that ought to say, look who we got in the middle, and look what we've got around him, which was not the case in the last two seasons, and Denver was not able to get back in that winner's circle. So if you ask me right now, with Houston still trying to figure out what to do in the absence of VanVleet, to me, I'd look at Denver, and I might look at Denver anyway. It's hard. The league is too hard to repeat. That's why nobody repeats. Yep. It's not because anybody's lacking. Boston wasn't really lacking last year. I'm not talking about the playoffs and the injury to Jason Tatum. I just mean the struggle to get through all those teams, the gauntlet of teams that awaits you. I don't know that OKC, while they have everything, they have the coaching, the coachable players, the superstar players, the bench, the support. They have all of it. Do they have enough to repeat? I'm not ready to go there, and I think Denver is one of the teams that's ready to take them head on come springtime.
You mentioned the gauntlet teams in the West. Are the Lakers one of them with 41-year-old almost LeBron?
I don't know that I'm ready to go there yet. And I realize the Lakers are going to be a team we must watch every night. And first of all, you got to get LeBron back in there healthy. And to me, the season starting without LeBron is a little bit of a downer because you want to see LeBron every chance you get. But DeAndre Ayton is critical to what the Lakers are going to do or not this season, because if he's the 2021 version of DeAndre Ayton, the guy who was in the middle holding it down when the Suns went to the NBA Finals, then yes, the Lakers can be part of that discussion with a recommitted or newly committed Luka Doncic. And I don't mean just conditioning. I mean defense, which I hope to see, or you can forget this discussion. But with LeBron and Luka and DeAndre Ayton, if they are all out there and ready and able, yes, the Lakers will be part of that conversation. But as we sit here on opening night and we don't know yet about LeBron, it's hard to have them part of that conversation. And by the way, the Golden State Warriors, let's not forget about them and sort of the roster they've put together, again, with the Lakers and Warriors. Health of two of the great players in the history of sports in the world, in LeBron and Steph Curry. How healthy are they going to be? How consistently are they going to be able to be at their greatest will determine or go a long way toward determining how far those teams can go by spring.
By the way, I find it so funny as I talk to someone who is also like me in the over 40 club. Like, LeBron's the closest thing we have to a superhero. How relatable is it that he has sciatica? Like, that's very 40 up. Like, I don't even know what that is, but it just feels like something that needs to be treated with a pill or
because,
El,
you're not old enough yet, I am, to know what sciatica is. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed for LeBron. He's in the category. Look, he and Tom Brady, they played through everything, right? So part of me is thinking, okay, LeBron's going to do this.
Yeah.
And then part of me is saying, you know what? We just can't take LeBron James's presence for granted.
Absolutely.
We can't.
Yep.
And nor Steph Curry. So I'm hoping sciatica get out, leave them alone.
We don't want that. You're whack, sciatica, go. Michael Wilbon, you are not whack. We are going to let you go, but we never want to. Thank you.
Kids, I mean, what a reunion this is. Everyone's been waiting for it. Opening night. So we're going to get right to it, Perk. We want Perk predictions for the season. We're not wasting time. MVP, who you got?
Well, I'm glad we finally got to basketball and left football. Football was yesterday. Let's live in the moment. We're talking about today, and since we're talking about today, damn it, the Lakers are playing today, and that means Luka is playing, and I got him as my MVP frontrunner. With no LeBron James right now, Luka that is in shape. We saw Luka last year that was depressed from being traded, out of shape, battling through injuries, and he still was going out there and putting up monster numbers. Now he has the keys to the car. He's going to be driving. He knows he's the number one option. He has a fresh reset in his mind, body, and soul. Luka is going to be on the mission. He's going to lead the league in scoring. That's going to be equivalent to wins for the Lakers. I got him as my early MVP front runner.
I cannot wait to see a nice felt Luka out there. I feel like he's not going to, we call him like the dad bod god, that kind of thing, like we call the Joker. So I'm very excited to see how spry he is out there.
He's been on the Luka good body guru.
He has.
It looks good.
Well, Ozempic, but it's cool though.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I love that for you, Perk. Who comes out of each conference and meets in the finals?
Well, in the East, I know a lot of people are going with the Cavs. I love the way that the Hawks are looking, but I'm staying with Big Body Brunson and the New York Knicks. And I know they have a coaching change, and that's the reason that I'm going with them is because Mike Brown is going to have the attention and ears of that locker room. Mike Brown said that he wanted to play with pace. Mike Brown is going to bring the best version of Karl Anthony Towns and Mikal Bridges. I think this team is going to be one of the best scoring teams in the league. They have one of the best closers in the game in Jalen Brunson. We're going to see, and they improved their depth on their bench, adding Jordan Clarkson. He's going to be huge. And in the West, I'm going with the Houston Rockets. With all due respect to SGA, one of my favorite players and the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm going with the Rockets. Do you see that lineup? 6'7", 6'11", 6'11", 6'11", 6'11", all across the board. You add KD to the mix, who's going to provide that shooting, which they struggled with last year. You have Alfred Sengun, who in my opinion is a top 5 big, and you have a generational talent who's going to put pressure on Wemby for us, who's going to be the best two-way player in years to come, and Amen Thompson. This team is ready, well coached, and I have them winning the West.
Knicks, Rockets, finals. That's who you've paired. Who do you have winning the whole thing on night one?
Well, the trophy going to stay in the Western Conference. I'm going H-Town, baby. Hey, man, say, man, the Rockets are on the way, man, and I'm going to stay with that. Look, defense win you championships, and they have defensive weapons. From Amen Thompson to Torrey Eason. Let's not forget they picked up Finney Smith. He's going to help with the three-point shooting along with the defense, and they have bigs. Clint Capella, Sengun, Big Steven Adams. They're going to rough you up in the interior. I'm very high on the Rockets. I think they're going to bring back the championship this year. And from, Akeem Olajuwon, Mario Elie days.
Yeah, it's definitely